we're going to discuss how to do a half airplane. A half airplane is a backdrop with a half turn right before you land, so you land back on your stomach. Say jump, half turn to stomach drop going backwards. This skill is really important because when you start getting a little bit older and start doing bigger tricks, a lot of skills on trampoline and in gymnastics take off going backwards with a half turn on the very first flip. So if you can't do a half airplane properly, you're going to have a skewed takeoff, which is going to kind of ruin the skill. You can see that we're bouncing from backdrop to stomach drop. Again, we want the athletes really to be able to play with this in their head first, then add the half turn. We don't want them adding the half turn from their feet because that'll naturally make them want to do a little bit too early, and they're not going to properly initiate a backwards rotation before adding the twist. This is the big problem for a lot of skills like half-half, half-half pike, half rudies, and even full fulls. Any takeoff that's going sideways starts with this issue. So really focus on the athlete getting their arms up. You'll notice I'm landing with my arms over my head, completely flat and laid out. This is just to get the athlete to realize where we need their arms to go before they start thinking about the half turn. If the arms don't get all the way by the ears and they only get to shoulder height, then they're going to start chopping around the side. But if the arms go up by the ears, even if they turn a little bit early off the bed, which they will, just a little bit, then they'll still be relatively straight and have a good takeoff. Remember, all skills have a little bit of contact twist, but for a skill like this, like a half airplane, you really need very, very little. When you start doing half in triple front pikes, then you're going to notice that you're going to cheat a little bit more. But that's natural, so don't worry so much about that, but make sure that these basics are really cleaned up and those arms are really stretching up before you start thinking about a twist. I always have my athletes land with their arms down. This forces them to hold their lines. I don't want them to jump and tap the sides and then get right into their stomach drop position. I want them to hold the arms down by the sides as long as they can and quickly snap them underneath their chin right before they're about to land. This shows the judges that they have lots of control. This means a lot more marks and less deductions. Coaches, please don't progress too quick through this. You're going to get a lot of athletes that are going to over-rotate and really think that they have to really jump into it. This could mean that when they add the half turn, their heels will come over their heads. So just be careful. Make sure they go nice and low and nice and slow. You can have the athlete do this a number of times in a row just to get them used to the rhythm of it. You'll note that when you start doing that the athlete will start to cheat and speed up the process and usually not think about a nice long stretch like that. They're going to kind of jump around the side just because they're in a rush to get it over. Just be aware of that and always go back to the basics when you start seeing them rushing. Once the athlete gets really used to it, then you can take the mat out. I wouldn't rush to take the mat out because an athlete doesn't really know where they are when they do this, so you want them to do lots and lots of numbers before they potentially can land on their face on the trampoline. I also would stand by for the first few just to make sure that they understand what's going on. Even if you're not a trampolinist strictly, you still should use this skill for parkour, tricking, free run, just because it shows you how to take off with a nice little bit of a twist on that takeoff. Here you can see a little bit of twist, but I still get a nice stretch. So from there, I can snap into an Arabian, I can snap into Arabian double front, I can hold a position for the video camera while somebody films. There's lots of things you can do with this kind of technique. So I wouldn't just keep it for the trampolinist. I think everyone should be able to play with this. The last thing you'll notice is that my arms come back up after I land on my stomach. This is really important to help the athlete control when they land. A lot of athletes will over or under flip, and that will cause deductions. But by bringing the arms up like you see here, it forces the athlete to stop their rotation and be able to figure out what am I doing, then bring the arms down when they land. Thanks guys, bye.